We are less than a week away from the Oscars, and if you needed any other reason to not be excited for the ceremony, we are getting plenty straight from the Oscar voters. Things were already off to a rocky season for this Oscar season when Emilia Perez landed 13 Oscar nominations, being one nomination shy of the all-time record. Now in the last month, we've had these Oscar voters coming out and anonymously saying things about the movies this year, and honestly, it's made me lose all faith in the ceremony. The most recent case of this that made me make this video is that 4 anonymous Oscar voters all said they didn't watch Dune Part 2 and abstained from ranking it in their Best Picture ballot. The first Dune I couldn't get through. I'm not rushing for another 3 hours of Dune, one voter said. Now, if you don't know, the Academy is made up of almost 9,000 voting members, all from the industry, and the 4 people in this quote, while we don't know who they were, we do know one of them was a writer, there was a director, a publicist, and a casting director in here, all working in the industry. And let's just think about this for a second. If these people are admitting that they couldn't get through the first Dune movie, that yes is a little bit slow, but it's still a blockbuster action film, do we really think they're watching all the other nominees? The answer, I think, is honestly just no. I think they get swept up in all the hype online and the campaigning, and a lot of these Oscar voters probably are voting for movies they haven't actually watched, because we just know for The Brutalist, which is probably going to take home a majority of the awards, voters literally admitted that they didn't get to it or didn't finish the film, citing its demanding runtime, which yes, it's almost 3.5 hours including the intermission. Like, I personally wasn't the biggest fan of The Brutalist. I can respect that it's a well-made movie, good performances, it just didn't click with me, but the fact that these people giving out the most prestigious award in Hollywood are just openly admitting to not watching like multiple of the 10 movies they have to watch throughout an entire year is crazy to me. Like, this one might be the craziest of them all. 2 separate Oscar voters said they didn't vote for Ralph Fiennes because he won before. They both believed he won an Oscar for Schindler's List in 1993, which he didn't win an Oscar for. This is pretty much everything wrong with the current Academy that we have voting on these Oscars. First of all, why does it matter if you won an Oscar in the past before? You're supposed to be awarding these people purely on their acting performance this year. It shouldn't matter if they won a million Oscars before or if they won 0 and you feel bad for them and want to give them one. It should be based on the performance. Like, I honestly think Timothée Chalamet deserves to win the Best Actor Oscar this Sunday, but I don't think he should win because he had an amazing big budget campaign where he was going around on SNL and just living it up and being in the public eye and just reminding the voters that he exists. It should be purely based off the movie performance itself. I know I'm biased towards Dune Part 2, but this is another thing that points out the glaring issues with the Academy. The fact that this film was nominated for less Oscars this year than the first Dune won in Oscars is absolutely insane. Like, the Academy has these made-up rules they follow where, like, oh, the movie was released early in the year, in the end of February, early March, so we forget about it by the time Oscars come around. Like, you have 1 year to follow of movies. How hard is it to remember something from earlier on? And like, oh my god, it's a sequel, we can't give it to this one, we're gonna save the Oscar nominations for the third. None of this is how any of the awards voting should work. Kind of feel like this old man yells at cloud meme from The Simpsons, but I needed to get this rant off my chest. Let me know your thoughts on this in the comments below, and if you want to hear some positivity, click the video above me right now to hear me ranking the movies coming out this spring by how excited I am for them.